Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's version of Open the Vaults. I'm joined this week by Manny Chocolate Chima. Oh no, other corner. He's currently on his way to... Where are you going skiing?
France, yeah, skiing in France.
France, wow. See, that's dedication, that is. And up in the other corner, we have Stephen Grandad Box.
How you doing, guys?
Grandad.
So, yeah, we got... oh, go on.
Should you explain why I'm nicknamed Grandad?
So yeah, just to fill everyone in, his name is Grandad because he walks around all day with this weird ass bum bag strapped to the front of him, and he's got his teeth in there, and he's got some pills and God, honestly, anything you need. He's like one of those. Like, if someone sneezes, like, a tissue will come out, or if a young child falls over, the plasters come out of there, and it's like Hogwarts in a little bum bag.
Well, go with that story if you want, yeah, okay.
And he looks about 25, but he's about 48,
Yeah.
isn't it? 48? Yeah.
Yeah, he's an old man. He's an old man. But you wait until that hoodie comes off, guys. As soon as that hoodie comes off, just keep your missus away from the stream. Cool. So, right, we've got loads to talk about. Steve's come on to tell us about his experience at the Warhammer World GT and how he went undefeated with Deathwatch. That's right, undefeated with Deathwatch. Which is, that's going to be good. But before we go through to that, I have got to tell you guys about this week's pre-orders. Glasshammer Gaming does have an online web store where you can grab your Games Workshop goodies at 20% off. It's on there. The pre-orders go up there tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning, so you can jump on there nice and early, grab your goodies, and then go off to take your kiddies to football practice or whatever it may be. This week we have the new Chaos Space Marine Noise Marine, the one that's painted all different rainbow colours and everything in his... I'm pretty sure it's a kind of a shout back to the old fluff. I'm not sure if either of you guys know about that. Do you?
No.
I want one.
Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty cool, but I've seen it in, like, I think it's a retro figure that they're bringing back and they've restyled and made it all really cool. Everyone seems really excited about it, so... that'll be on there. And there's also... Go on. What was that, sorry?
5. I want 5.
Oh, 5? Okay. Well, they come in squads of 10, so... I'll reserve you 30 then, shall I? Rule of
Brilliant,
3.
yeah. Oh, 10 for me then, yeah. I mean, I was going to call them 5, but obviously if I've got 10, then, yeah.
Oh, you need a nice round number, don't you? You don't want 5.
Yeah.
We've also got Realm of Chaos coming out tomorrow as well. Wrath and Rapture. Sorry, that's Realm of Chaos, Wrath and Rapture. That's a mouthful. And it's basically like these boxes that GW release with two armies that are fighting against each other, and you get loads of you save loads of money by buying them in big boxes, and you also get new figures as well. And that is Khorne Demons against Slanesh Demons. So I don't know if you guys have seen the things that on the Warhammer. They had it at one of their events where the woman was playing the harp on that guy's back tendons or something weird like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a proper weird model. Oh. Like when everyone thought Games Workshop were going all kiddie friendly and clown like when they released Nurgle, but and then they've released all this Slanesh and there's breasts and nipples and then dangly bits and tendons and so they're going back to their grimdark ways. But yeah, you can get all that in the box. It's coming out tomorrow again. I mean, you save quite a lot on the figures anyway as an RRP price because they put it in as a bundle. But with Glasshammer, you'll get a 20% off that as well, so it's an even bigger saving. So jump on there, grab that early in the morning, get it all sorted, and it'll be with you for release day next week. Right,
basically, what he's trying to say, guys, is if you want any Warhammer at all, you would be stupid not to buy it from us.
Well, reading between the lines, that's exactly what I'm saying, Manny. Well done. Well done. So right, so moving on. I think we should talk about Steve's Warhammer World GT experience first. That's
man.
what I mean when I've been sharing the stream around what we were going to talk about tonight. That's what everyone was getting excited about. Everyone wants to know that list and how you got on and some cheeky little tactics that you were pulling on everyone. So Steve,
Or
could you,
some cheeky ones, yeah.
cheeky. So
Lay
do
it
you
on
want-
us, Grandad.
Yeah, lay it down. Enlighten us, Grandad.
So where do you want me to start? Where do you want me to start?
Do you know what? I'd quite like it if you were to just give us a quick rundown. So you played 5 games? If you could just go through your 5
Yeah.
games and just tell us what you were playing and how you thought the game was going to go and how you overcame it.
Yeah. So basically, the Warhammer the Warhammer GT was held at Warhammer World. I think it's like a 120-man event, and it was chapter approved Eternal War missions. So the missions that we played were, you've obviously got the couple of the end game scoring ones. You've got the one where like characters will, I think it's called Ascension, the ones where you can raise objectives, and then you've got the ones that are just kind of progressive scoring. So I can talk about that a little bit as well, because in the mission pack there are a few design flaws, and I think that the new chapter approved I'm really excited about, because I think it's going to fix some of those current flaws in that in those basically missions.
Yeah.
So that was obviously, you've got to prepare for that when you write your list. So the list is it was 1750 as well, so not 2000, 1750. Basically what I've got is I've got a Deathwatch battalion. I've got a Watch Master, who is basically like a cheap chapter master, rerolls all misses. He doesn't really do much apart from that. I've then got a captain with a jump pack and a Thunderhammer. Not that I don't think I ever used the Thunderhammer, so a bit of a waste anyway.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I've also got, his Storm Bottle was great though. So if I could do twin Storm Bottles on one, that would be amazing. Anyway, and then I've got him, and then I've got 3 units which are pretty much exactly the same apart from one alteration, which I've got 3 squads of Deathwatch, 9 men total. I've got 7 veterans. I've got 1 Vanguard veteran and 1 Terminator, because in Deathwatch you can basically mix up the unit, okay? Now, what I've got everyone equipped with is a Storm Bolter and Chainsword, okay? I've then got 3 guys per squad that have got a Storm Shield. Obviously, they have to lose the Chainsword for that to happen. And then the Terminator's got a power weapon just to keep it cheap, because he doesn't have to take a power fist. He can take a power weapon because they're cheaper.
Nice.
And the Vanguard veteran is just wielding twin chainswords. The other thing you get with Deathwatch is what is called a black shield. So you get a veteran and you get a black shield. And the black shield is a very special boy, very dear to my heart. He allows my unit to heroically intervene.
Nice.
So he's a beast.
And that is
One single own rule.
that is it. So what he gives that to the whole unit though, doesn't he? It's not just him that can do it. The whole unit can heroically intervene, which is massive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, if anyone,
was-
if you stand on these objectives, I mean, your objective's secured anyway, which is great. But if you stand on an objective, if anyone tries to come over and contest that objective with you, they're going to get punched in the face by a bunch of veterans. Is what's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome. That's
obviously
really good.
I've got 2 attacks. I get 2 attacks base, plus 1 for the chainsword, and then I've got the veteran gets an extra attack, the black shield gets an extra attack, the Vanguard veteran gets an extra attack 'cause he's got 2 chainswords, so there's just so many attacks in that unit. You're looking at, I think, about average 30 attacks in close combat.
It's good.
Wow, that's really good. Sounds
That
great.
roughly thereabouts. So yeah,
So it sounds
Now,
to me
the Storm-
like you've got a lot of anti-infantry in there. So did you think about, did you not have the points to put much anti-tank in there, or did you think, you know what, there's enough in here for options to play around and play with the mission, or have you got other ideas?
so the other part of the list then is Pask with a battle cannon and also las cannon. And then I've got a company commander and then 30 guardsmen, just to give me basically a screen. And really, I'm taking that for Pask, really, because I found he was really useful at just, killing tanks, like you said, because my list... Do you know what is the funny thing is that I had that same impression of you. I was like, right, my Deathwatch are going to kill infantry. Turns out they're actually quite effective at taking down tanks, and go into why that is later on.
Oh, awesome.
So then the other thing I've got in my list is a Crest Knight Crusader.
Okay, that's the one.
He's got a
yeah, that's the one with the Gatling
rapid
cannon
fire
and
battle cannon and
yeah.
Avenger. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I literally took him and Pass because I thought I can outrange everyone with 72 inches, battle cannons. Anyone gets close, I can start opening up with the Avenger Gatler. So that was kind of the idea with that, basically.
Nice, nice.
I would, on the whole, obviously I'm running around with basically single wound Marines who are coming in at around 25 points apiece.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you are kind of balls deep in with the Marines there, aren't you? Because if it starts to go wrong and you start losing bodies,
so
that's it. It gets rough quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I basically did was game one. I had an idea of how I was going to play everything out. Now, just to give it a background, my Deathwatch, obviously, Stormbolters, 2 shots each, and then obviously if I'm in rapid fire range, I get 4 shots apiece. So I've got a lot of shots there, re-rolling all my misses from a Watchmaster or re-rolling ones from a Captain, and then Deathwatch get a inbuilt ability. They get 2 actually. One of the inbuilt abilities is that you pick a enemy type of like from the Force Org, so whether it's troop, fast attack, heavy support, and for the remaining of the game, all of your Deathwatch army re-rolls wounds against that one type. Okay, you can change it for 2 CPs, or if you've got a Watchmaster on the board, it only costs you 1 CP to change it.
Is it reroll ones to wound, Steve, or all rerolls?
Reroll 1s to wound.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's great.
Then the other thing Deathwatch get is, and everyone tells me, oh, why don't you go Primaris Marines? Why don't you go loads of aggressors? And this is why. So aggressors are good, but I think Stormbolters are better because Deathwatch get Hellfire. So what? If you have a bolt gun, Stormbolter, bolt pistol, yeah, you get special ammunition. And there's 4 types of ammunition. One of them is great against cover. Never use that one. The other one is you get like +1 to hit the enemies in cover, so I didn't bother with that. The other one is Hellfire, which is I always wound on a 2 unless you are a vehicle.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and it specifically says unless you are a vehicle. So that also covers Tau. So a lot of Tau battle suits, they don't have the vehicle keyword. So, they can't have it both ways. They're like, oh no, your Haywire don't work against me, but Hellfire, they can't claim this one. So, yeah, the Hellfire works again. And he also, as I found out, works pretty well against Magnus as well. So
it's brutal, man. It's brutal, isn't it? You just expect it to have wounds on a 2+ against infantry. You just expect it to have that in there, but because it hasn't, you don't think about just how devastating that could be for these big models that just don't have the right keyword,
Yeah. So, and then the other one, which came in really handy, is extra 6-inch range and -1 AP, or you can go for 1 step further, which is -6-inch range and then -2 AP. Okay?
Wow.
So depending on your ranges, it's all about knowing how quickly you can move your unit, where you can get it to, what sort of threat range you're going to be in, and then picking the right shot for the job, basically. So there's a lot of, you've got to think, because you've got basically your unit, I think of Deathwatch, they're a real Swiss Army knife. They can literally do so many things for you. You just need to make sure you put the right unit in the right place at the right time. And if you don't do that, you're going to get absolutely smashed. And if you do it, then I think they're pretty unstoppable.
Yeah. Do you know what the silly thing is though? This special ammunition that you get I think your veterans they're 2 points more than like a normal Space Marine veteran. So for 2 points, you're getting that special ammunition, and because they all get chapter tactics and all that kind of thing. But oh man, if you offer me 2 points to spend that on my Marines, you'd take that all day. That's an absolute bargain.
Your guns are also more expensive, though. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so a Space Marine veteran with a Storm Shield and a Storm Bolter is 18 points. Whereas a Deathwatch one is 20 points. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
No, 20. No.
After chapter approved, bro.
Oh, after chapter approved, yeah. So before, obviously, before chapter approved, you had to pay 4 points for a Storm Bolter for me. So I'm paying 4 points for a Storm Bolter.
Yeah. So that's why you're paying the extra 2 points, because you've got that. But that's worth 2 points all day. There's no way you would take a normal Space Marine veteran. It just wouldn't make sense if you did. So they're brilliant. They're great.
So a couple of things I did. You can also with Deathwatch spend up to 3 CPs and put 3 units in Deep Strike.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. And that's any unit.
Any unit.
Nice.
So the other great thing as well is that I had a relic that I optionally took, and actually I took it every single game, was the Beacon of Angelus on my captain. Now this beacon is on my jump pack captain, and what this beacon allows me to do is redeploy any unit that I currently have on the field, and they can set up within 6 inches of him, 9 inches away from an enemy. And nobody saw it coming.
Wow! So you can pick up any. It hasn't got to be a veteran unit. It can be any unit.
Or it has to be a Deathwatch unit, I think.
Yeah, Deathwatch unit. So you could have like a nice clumped up squad of aggressors, say, behind a nice big line of sight blocker, and then your captain, because you can do this. You can deep strike your captain with the jump pack.
Yeah.
And then teleport stuff over to them, so you haven't got to wait a turn or anything.
Because it happens at the end of the movement phase.
Oh, I see. So, because it happens at the same time, you can choose the sequencing.
So, you can select a Deathwatch infantry or biker unit that is either on the battlefield or in the teleportarium. Okay? Mm. So,
That's awesome. That's really, really good. Just to make six aggressors pop up in front of anywhere. That's absolutely amazing.
What I did was basically I always deployed a unit of my Deathwatch on the field as a sort of like, I don't know, goalkeeper, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. Because so my first match was against a Imperial Guard, Blood Angels, Imperial Knight soup list.
Yep.
So he had 3 Helverins, he had 30 Guardsmen, he had some Scions with some Plasma Boys, and then he had Mephiston, Smash Captain, Lamartes, and Death Company.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's not your generic.
I wasn't sure.
Not your generic thing, is it? That like soup list that you come across, but
no, is it?
It's tasty.
Is actually, got a lot of tools there to sort of. He actually has great range, really some good damage weaponry there, and just a lot of boots on the ground basically. So that was on my first game, and the only thing, so really good game actually, lovely opponent I played. We had a great game, but it got to the end and I'd essentially tabled him. The only thing that I'd lost was a unit of Deathwatch.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
So even with those Helverins just kind of firing away at the back, you just hid from them? Was there a good line of sight block in there?
Sorry, can you say that again, mate?
Yeah, so even with those Helverins firing away every turn, because you haven't got a massive amount of range, so was there a lot of line of sight block in there that you could hide all your guys behind?
So I put all my Deathwatch in Deep Strike, and then turn 1, I think, I can't remember who went first, whether it was him or me, and basically they didn't. I actually think he went first. They didn't really do that much, if I'm honest. I think they shot a knight, but basically because of the relics in Warlord, I went for the 2-up save on the Warlord trait against him.
Yeah.
So I was on a flat 3-up basically, so I was fine. Saved my armor saves because they shot my knight, and then Paskin, my knight, retaliated and took out Helverin in my first turn, and then. Oh, he had 2 Helverins and an Armiger, yeah. So I could basically leave the Armiger alone until turn 2, so then in my turn 2, I'd killed both Helverins and the Armiger, yeah.
Okay, right, yeah, no worries. Okay, cool. So pretty
and obviously
nice warm up for you then.
Because when he dropped down with his Death Company to tackle my Deathwatch, I obviously used Auspex Scan and then just deleted a few, killed a few more on Overwatch, and then heroically, and then spent 2 CPs to fight. So then I fought before his Lamartis did and killed a few more Deathwatch, a Death Company, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about that Auspex Scan. I'll always remember watching Manny at LGT. Just praying he remembered Auspex Scan. And then he lost the whole unit of players.
That's the thing, man. If you haven't played Marines in a while, then you just miss little things like that, man. Like little things.
Yeah.
The other thing that a Vanguard veteran in my squad allows me to do is fall back and shoot.
That's amazing. Wow. That's my favourite thing about Deathwatch. I think that's so cool, man. You must have caught so many people off with that, bro.
Yeah, and also like the Terminator was great. Like when the Death Company came in, he was like, right, Thunderhammer's attacked, and I was like, I think like 2 or 3 wounded because he only had a couple. I think I took 3 wounds, passed all 3-up invulnerable saves.
Yeah.
And then when it got to I think he then had like 10 attacks. I was like, right, put them all on the Terminator. I think I saved all but 1, so I basically lost a wound on my Terminator, and it hit me with an entire squad of Death Company.
Oh dear. Wow.
Stuff like that, where you just kind of nuke their and that's where you just get right, okay, put that on here, put that on there. You save your re-rolls for bits and bobs if you need to. Yeah, they're quite survivable then. So yeah, that was game 1.
Awesome. That's good.
So it was a full tabling for me. Obviously, and then it was 6 points because their events you get 6 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, 0 if you lose. And you also score secondaries, like First Blood, Linebreaker, Warlord, and then also you score total points killed. So I'd scored 1,750. So good first game. Game 2 is Ascension. This is where characters are the ones that progressively score, and I've got my Nightmen matchup, which is 5 knights.
Okay, right. So, all that anti-infantry shooting isn't doing much here then.
Yeah, so he's got a Castellan. He's got then 2 other big knights, but he's got one with the thermal cannon and a Reaper Chainsword, and the other one with a Crusader sort of Avenger cannon and Reaper Chainsword. And then he's got 2 Helverins as well.
Oh, okay. That's a lot for 1750, isn't it? That's a nice list for 1750.
It is, yeah. It's pretty efficient, really. Now, literally deployment won me this game by a mile. Deployment won me get this game. I ended up seizing on him, so I seized, which was great. And because he put his, I think he was quite worried about passing my knight. So what he did with his big boy Castellan was he put him right in the corner, and we were playing the sort of diagonal one.
Right, yeah, Vanguard.
So what I was able to do is put my Crusader over 58 inches away from his Castellan knight, which meant even when he moves, I'm still out of range of his plasma. So the only only thing that he would be able to shoot at me would be his big cannon, basically. So I kind of turn 1, took him out of the game.
Nice, that's so important. So important. We've actually got a tactics video coming up on null deployment. So
yeah,
just it is really important, and people ask you how far a weapon shoots. That's not what you need to ask. You need to ask what a model's threat range is. When it can move and shoot, you ask its threat range, and if you can put a 600 point model out the game like you did there, that's a big, it's a third of his army that you're just eliminating. for that turn, which is huge.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So then what I did was turn 1, I'd already I actually whiffed really hard, failed to kill a knight, which was a bit gutted about. But because I get +2 damage from my knight against other Titanic vehicles. So he can put out a lot of hurt. He's also got Iron Bulwark I went for. So I'm on a 3-up invulnerable save with Rotate Iron Shields for 1 CP and doing +2 damage. But failed to kill a knight, Pask whiffed, he whiffed. But what I did do, which won me the game pretty much, was I moved my captain, I advanced him, I actually deployed him this time on the board, moved him onto an objective, and then I redeployed a unit of Deathwatch completely to surround him. So he was on this objective now, and then I knew that if I killed his knight, which was next to that squad with the Crusader, with the Avenger cannon, then what I could do is leave his other 2 alone. And that's what I did, because as soon as he took the bait, he tried to kill my knight. I rotated Iron Shield, saved everything. Yeah. A little bit went through, nothing to kill him basically, because obviously 1 CP I can fight on normal my stat line. And at the end of the game, I had my unit. I'd completely surrounded all of his bits and bobs, and I ended up tabling him. So I just got Pask to focus on, blowing holes in the knights, same with my Crusader, and then what I did with the Deathwatch was I used them to kill the Helverins and then just add on more fire onto the knights, because the Deathwatch, and I think in the last turn, I took a picture of this, I've got 3 of my Deathwatch squads surrounding his Castellum, which was the last thing on the board. Everything's re-rolling misses because I've got it all strung out, they're all on all the objectives. I'm within 9 inches, so it means I can go -2 on his armor save. And I played the stratagem on my big beefy squad, which still was full, so still 9 men in there, 32 shots. I can play a stratagem to give me +1 to wound against a certain vehicle, against a certain type. So I went for obviously the heavy support Lord of War option, so I'm +1 to wound, wounding on 5s now. And then because he made him a character, I've got another stratagem, reroll all failed wounds. So I've got, I think that the Deathwatch at -2, and obviously he's out of CPs by this point, so he's just on a 4-up invuln. I think the Deathwatch took 8 or 9 wounds off the Castellan anyway, and then my Knight Paskin, all the other accumulative fire, just took him off the board. So it was good.
That's a great little combo, mate. I tell you what, I bet no one would see that coming. Squad of Deathwatch, -2 AP, +1 to wound, reroll all wounds because he's a character. That's great, that is, mate. Yeah. That's a real pro tip, that is. For you people thinking about playing Deathwatch.
Yeah.
That's why he's the Grandad. Very knowledgeable, very wise. That's great, mate. That's really good. So, mate, to be able to table 5 knights like that with Deathwatch, it's just it shows they've got so many of these little hidden tricks.
I had him.
Go on.
Yeah. The game was over by turn 3, and also I think it was turn 3 or turn 4. It was over, and I'd lost 2 squads of guardsmen.
That's brilliant, mate. That's really, really good.
So in all these games, I wasn't giving away many points either. It just shows how survivable the list was. And then game 3, I'm up against a 30-man Zangor bomb.
Okay.
Magnus. Demon Prince of Tzeentch, Araman, some flying disc Zangor things with bows. Don't know, whatever they did.
Oh, enlightened.
Yeah, and then also I think he had 2 units of Rubric Marines as well.
Okay.
Now, people are like, Rubric Marines aren't great, but they actually happen to be a really hard counter to Deathwatch, because they've got I'm only damage 1 weapons, so they're on a 2-up save, and they're basically a 1-up saving cover.
Oh, okay.
And also, they have a modifier, I think, -2. So actually, his Rubric Marines were his best. If he used them differently, they were my biggest threat. And the other thing which kills Deathwatch is Smite, because I've got no anti-psychic, and mortal wounds just go through me like butter.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting.
Because I can tank like las cannon shots or whatever. I can tank is the Castellan's plasma thing on my storm shields. But what I can't tank is mortal wounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So he goes first, powers up Magnus, puts on like -1 to hit on his Zangors, and then my guardsman gets hit with, because then they're moving again as well. So basically, luckily I double-legged up on my around pass to keep him safe. So the Zangors hit one squad, and it just took me ages to clear those 30 Zangors basically. And I deployed my Deathwatch down. They added a little bit, but basically I think in my second turn of the game, Magnus, he hid, so I couldn't do anything about him in turn 1. So all I could basically do was try and kill these Zangors, and I thought this game's over. Turn 2, he flies over, and he didn't fail a single power.
Right.
And he kept... The thing is, his rolling was that good on his casting, he actually kept perilsing, so he'd lost a couple of wounds on Magnus, because he perils like 3 times by rolling double 6. Obviously all of his powers were going off. Yeah. So anyway, Magnus loses a few, because he then flies in Magnus, double moves him and hits my knight, and I'm like, oh, my knight's dead here. So anyway, then what I did was I heroically intervened with my Deathwatch into Magnus.
Tasty.
So
nice.
My Deathwatch hit him. Obviously, my knight hit him back. He didn't. My knight, I think, had like 4 wounds left. He didn't quite do enough damage to him. And then what I did was fell back and just hellfire around him to death. Because regardless of him being on a 3-up invulnerable save, I just put in 32 shots into him with hellfire, and Magnus goes down.
Yeah, it's still a 3+ save, isn't it?
Yeah.
Winning on 2s, rerolling 1s.
It's just a 3.
Drop anything.
Yeah.
Nice.
So everything re-rolling. So I think in my second turn, I killed Magnus, I killed 15 Zangors, and I killed his Demon Prince as well. Because this turn of the game, I dropped my other 2 units down, and then the only things I had to kill left was the Enlightened, his Rubric Marines. Oh, and yeah, he also had loads of points in reserve for Pink Horrors, but they didn't last long to my bolt fire. So, and then I tabled him basically. Yeah. But
okay, so I mean, I've seen a lot of people. Do you feel? I see a lot of people when they play Magnus, they just, because he has that double move power, they just throw him forward, and I feel me personally, I think that's the wrong way to play him. I don't think you should just throw him forward without any support. I mean, did you kill all those Zangors in the first turn? Did you say?
Yeah, in the same turn, I killed Magnus and them. Yeah. And the Demon Prince.
Oh, so he threw them. So he threw Magnus forward with 30 Zangors and a Demon Prince.
Yeah, but the Zangors came in first. And then basically he came in turn 2 with the Demon Prince.
Okay, yeah, I think that's just people getting a bit carried away with Magnus, really. But to be fair, he probably just didn't know about the wounding Magnus on 2s, because it is. It's
kind of weird as well. It shows, people not knowing their rules a little bit as well, or just panicking a little bit when they're on the back foot or something like that, because I'm pretty sure Magnus has something like ignore perils on a 2+, or he just ignores perils altogether.
He does. He did do that, but he did it so many times. He did roll a couple of, because you roll.
Oh, is it a 2+?
You roll a 1 for every. It's a 2+, but obviously let's take. What was happening was I think he perils 2 or 3 times with him. Now you then roll. He was then rolling mortal wounds, then rolling 3, and then he obviously has to roll 3 1-ups, or 3.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, 3 2-ups. So I think it only chipped off a couple of wounds, but anyway, yeah. So,
nice.
But had a lovely game against. I think his name was Andy. We had a great game, really, really good. But I didn't know which way it was going to go, and then the Deathwatch just really turned the tide basically. And then my captain's trundling forward. Then I redeploy my because this was Hammer and Anvil. My Deathwatch unit, which right at the back doing nothing now, redeploying back in the game, and then just there now peppering away at Pink Horrors. So it was it's good.
Wow, yeah, nice.
So finished day 1 on 3 wins.
Awesome.
Mm.
That's great, mate. No, it sounds like you played each game very well. You didn't overcommit. you sound like you're playing quite reserved, and you're just kind of picking threats off, which is really good.
Yeah, I really deployed literally in the last 6 inches of my board edge. I just stayed there most of the time.
Yeah.
Until I felt like I'd done enough damage, I could start going forward. Then I played game 4.
Okay. I've heard about this game 4.
So I'm not going to mention this guy's name.
Oh, okay. Controversial.
Probably the worst game of 40k I've ever experienced. Sadly.
Wow.
Oh wow.
What a shame. Okay then. So okay, not naming names. What nickname should we give him? Bear in mind you can't swear.
Let's just not worry about a nickname. So anyway, the list is Bobby G, 3 Predators with auto cannons and heavy bolters, and then 3 twin assault cannon Razorbacks, 3 units of scouts, a tech marine, and then 2 smash captains. Yeah, I think that's roughly the list that he had.
Oh wow, okay. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it?
No, but here's the problem. So it's the one where it's progressive scoring, 6 objectives. Now, in GW's book, what happens is that I rolled the dice, I won, so therefore I unfortunately have to put down the first objective marker. Now this straight away ruins the game potentially. So I put mine down in the middle of basically, let's say it was either Dawn of War or the diagonals. I put it literally down the center of the board, okay? So it pretty much, out of 3 of the missions, be in no man's land, okay?
Yeah.
He then puts an objective 12 inches back towards a board edge from that one. I literally see what he does, so I put another objective on the other side of the board, and then he then basically puts another one down 12 inches away from that one, and so I then put another one on the other side of the board as well, and then he puts down the final one 12 inches, so he basically makes a square with objectives, okay? He then happens to roll a 4, which is hammer and anvil, and he automatically picks the side. So he's now got 4 objectives in his deployment zone, and he puts his basically castle on top of it.
Right,
now,
okay.
I said to him at the start of the game, look, and I said this to all my opponents, I'd really like to get to turn 7. Okay, I can play that quickly if needed. All of my games should go to a natural conclusion. I'm happy to play through lunch if you are, to make sure that we do get through it. And he said to me, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I don't play slow. I was like, okay, cool. Then we're agreed. We're going to see this game to a proper conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think this is a real pro tip for you, is just having that one conversation. I'm not a pro, but it is a good tip. That having that conversation before the start of the game is so important.
It is, very. I agree.
So, we start playing. I can't remember who goes first. He does or I do. I go first. So my first turn is 15 minutes. And what I do is I have a quick look at the time, but, basically every turn. His first turn is over 30. I think about 35 minutes, his first turn.
Mate, when you break down the time, it should work out to be like 15 minutes a turn, something like that. So 35 minutes is bad.
Yeah, but
10 minutes.
You could say that it was understandable if you had like 200 models on the board, but it sounds like you've got like 7 vehicles and a Primark. That's his army. Why is that taking him longer than 10 minutes?
That's mad.
It took an extra 10 minutes to deploy, because I obviously finish early with my Deathwatch. Took him 10 minutes to deploy 3 units of scouts.
Okay.
Bit suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm just like, he knows straight away. He's in a certain team. I won't even mention the team, but basically this guy's an experienced player. Okay.
Right.
Now, I whiff real bad turn 1. Like I literally do nothing. I just move up a little bit. And then what happens is all the rolls that I, get him to save, he rolls every dice individually.
Oh.
Every dice individually.
What? Did he say why?
No, it's just how he does it, he said. I'm like, right, okay. Now, there's a few rolls I have to do individually, because obviously I've got, like...
Mixed units?
Yeah, you got mixed up. Yeah.
Well, I've only got 3 units, so it doesn't take long.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was like, okay, cool, well, let this go. Anyway, there's a few things that happen then, that started to then happen in the game, and so the first thing that basically happened in his movement phase, he moved his tanks to get in range of my boys, because I did quite well. I basically made sure if he wanted to get in range, he's going to have to move to me, okay? Mm-hmm. I did some damage to a Razorback, so one of the Razorbacks was literally on its last bracket, so he's already quite depleted there. And then what starts to happen is it takes ages to deploy or move and get in range that he wants to. And that's fine. But then what starts happening is that he starts to roll some dice for some advance rolls, like the Tech Marine, he wanted to advance it, okay, to get it within range of the injured Razorback, right?
Yeah. He
then moves that Razorback again for the second time.
Okay.
Oh.
Because then that now allows him to move Gulliman again, like reposition Gulliman. So now he's within. So he's now changing what can get within 6 inches. And I just took him aside and I said, look, just to let you know what you've done there, that roll of the dice is now dictated certain events to change within the game.
Yeah.
Because he managed to roll very high, he didn't need to do that. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I think he's trying it on, isn't he? Is what he's doing, and when you're playing hordes and stuff like that, you can kind of forgive someone a little bit, can't you? To just get your stuff moved. Let's get the game going. But like Manny said, when you're playing with bloody 6 vehicles and a Primarch, there's no need for that.
The problem is obviously you can't, because he was all boxed in one area. You have to move a unit for another unit to move, can't you? You can't move your units through your units. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're going to box your army together like that, like a load of tanks, you have to be, right, this one has to move first, I can then move the second one, third one, fourth one. Yeah. Now, when you start to roll dice, now that decision based on that number is going to very much dictate what he is able to do. So that, and I just said, look, we'll let it go, keep playing, but just to make you aware, basically... don't do it again.
That sounds fair to me.
Now, and then a few other things started to happen. Now I started to cause me a bit of concern. Certain things like he was forgetting that his Razorback was bracketed, and he didn't have to hit on certain numbers. And then I could have swore at one point I said to him, mate, you can't shoot that. You've already shot him. And he was like, no, I haven't. And I've never ever in a game of 40k ever had to do that. So what I had to start doing was putting counters down on all of his units to indicate that he'd shot it. And I'm just having one of these games, and it gets to the point where some of the CPs he's spending isn't quite right, and I'm like, no, that got FAQ'd, like the Blood Angels redeploy one, things like that. And I'll put my hand up. I got a rule wrong. I did get one wrong. I got my minus modifier on my top gun. That's D6 shots. Ain't game breaking, but the thing is, the problem that this sort of game, because the game was taking so long, and I had to get a TO to watch the entire thing, I didn't have time to do simple things like I'll quickly check that like I normally would.
Yeah.
Because I was having to spend so long literally watching every single one of his dice roll because I couldn't trust in what he was doing. I couldn't trust that he was hitting after moving and bracketed, hitting on 6s or whatever. So it just became one of those games which was
it sounds pretty crappy, mate.
So we get to the end of the game, turn 3. He's up on points obviously because he's got a very early lead, but it's pretty clear he's got a Predator, he's got a very injured Razorback, and he's got 3 scouts and a Smash Captain. My Knight is my 4th turn, is stood next to his Smash Captain. He's fully He's fine. So basically, I've got a fully functioning knight, 2 full units of Deathwatch, and then 20 guardsmen left. So I'm stood on all the objectives apart from 2. And if this game goes on, I blow both of his. And I've still got my Smash Captain that's about to kill his Razorback. So if this game goes on, I clearly win it. And I basically turned to him and said, look, I'm happy to shake hands on a draw right now. Or if we play on, obviously I'm going to win.
Okay.
So it's up to you what you would rather do. I said I'd rather not play anymore. Haven't enjoyed this game. I don't really want to play a minute longer. So I'm happy to shake hands on a draw.
Okay. I'd say that was very gentlemanly of you, and I can understand if you're not enjoying a game. But then, I don't know. I think someone who's being like that needs punishing. I think you keep him there, and you make him remove his models, man.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like, Games Workshop could have gone, no, the time's up. We're going to see what the points are now. But to be fair to the TOs, they said, look, if you're happy with a draw, call it a draw. So the TOs at Games Workshop were absolutely brilliant, to be fair. They ran a very, very great event. And they did exactly that they needed to. Intervened when they had to. They were good on hand when needed. They ran a tight ship, to be honest.
That's good. It's good to hear something good about the TOs there. It sounds like they're learning from mistakes, because they have had some time in mistakes and some issues in the past, haven't they? So it sounds like they're listening to it. And
yeah, I think they got their finger on the pulse. I think the guys that are involved are a lot more competitive, gamers now, and I really get that impression. And then finally, Game 5, I'm up against Lawrence Baker from Tabletop Tactics on stream.
Oh, so we've got a it's Glasshammer versus Tabletop Tactics now, is it?
So he has a very horrible list. He's got six Talos. He's got Homunculus. He's got 3 Ravagers that are Blackheart, and then he's got an Archon with obviously reroll 1s to hit, rerolls 1s to wound, and he's got 2 Crimson Hunter Exarchs, and he's got Hemlock. And
nice.
He's also got a Kronos as well, because I think he had some extra points in there.
Okay. Yeah. Nice list. It's something different, isn't it? But they're all very good units. So. Yeah,
they're all plug-in and play units, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, really good list. Lawrence, we had a quality game, and I tell you what, it was so nice to play that game after the one I had previously. We had a really decent game, and I whiffed turn 1 again. Like, pass does nothing. I think I rolled a 1 in a 2, re-rolled them for another 1 in the 2 on how many shots I get, so it's pretty awful. He's got 3 objectives in his, because it's the one where you can raise objectives, so he's on 3, I'm on 2. I had to really work to get in the middle of the board to get my my third one. So luckily Guardsmen have the old move, which is unbelievable.
Which is silly, but yeah, that's a story for another day.
Saved my bacon on many occasions. Move. So I'm on 3. I get 3 points, and I get first blood because I kill a Ravager. That's it. Turn 1. And then he basically retaliates by taking my knight down to, I think, two wounds left.
Oh. Okay. What was that with it? Was that with all the haywire from the Talos?
No, not really the haywire. Mainly from Crimsons and Ravagers. Yeah.
Really? Oh, you know, when I was running Crimsons at the ETC, they did nothing. Just nothing at all.
The difference between Lawrence and you, mate, is that Lawrence rolls well.
I have heard of the Spider's dice.
But it was good, to be fair. Like, I'm quite dry, obviously, and I was like, did you cast Doom as well as Jinx? Just because he I don't think he failed a single 4-up to wound roll with his... so fair play to him. So I was like, Lawrence, we need to have a chat about your dice rolls in a minute. This is getting a bit ridiculous. So anyway, but to be fair, I made some pretty good rolls that game as well, and I'll get onto those at the end. But so it's a game of dice at the end of the day. But most important thing, he's still alive for my second turn because that's when I need him. And then turn 2 is my turn. So Deathwatch drop down, and I absolutely obliterate Talos like it's no tomorrow. So again, I'm wounding them on 2s. They've got a 3-up save. They start going down. My Pass.
Brutal.
Pass, rewards himself, rolls an 11 on how many hits, blows up a Ravager, and then my other knight just then starts to hammer another Ravager. I think it's got 2 wounds left, okay? So he does a number as well. And then Lawrence's second turn, Lawrence moves 2 of his Talos.
Yeah.
Right? And this is my real trick. So if an Eldari flying unit is within 12 inches when it moves of a unit of Deathwatch, I can shoot at it.
Instant volley, baby! Woo!
Yeah, such an underrated strat. It's great.
I put 32 shots into Talos, re-rolling misses, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, and then I just basically take off 2 Talos off the board in his movement phase.
Brutal. How many points are that? How many points is the Talos? Like 90 points?
100, I think.
Points for 2 of them, man. 196 for 2 of them.
Oh, to lose 200 points in your own movement phase. Oh.
So I think at this point in the game he's down by 4 Talos, or 3.5 Talos. I think it was. He's got one left with a few wounds left. Anyway, so and then basically he charges into my guard screen and my Deathwatch. So obviously I can fall back and shoot in my turn 3.
Yeah.
With my Deathwatch again, because obviously my Vanguard boy he also said to me, you got to take a leadership there on your Deathwatch, you've lost a few, and the Hemlock's there -2. I was like, I've got a Terminator, I'm fearless, so I don't need to worry about morale because I've got a Terminator there. And then basically both Deathwatch units fall back from the units that Talos they're engaged with, and then in the Talos do nothing because I've got the 3 up invulnerable shields, so I can tank all the wounds on them. So he didn't really kill any there. I fall back and then shoot both of those off the table. I've got his homunculus completely surrounded with a unit of Deathwatch. And my Smash Captains goes forward, blows up the Ravager with his Thunderhammer, moves on to an objective and burns it for an extra 2 CPs. So at the end of turn 3, it's quite slow playing on the stream, especially with their tables that they've got there.
Yeah.
So the game was kind of called at the end of turn 3, but regardless of which way it goes, I think we finished on 13-9, I think the end score was, something like that, 12-9. Because we both got Line Breaker, neither of us had Warlord, although he did try to get it, but I made 3 5-up invulnerable saves with mine, with my company commander, so that was good. But if the game continues, then all I do then is redeploy my unit of Deathwatch around my my captain, and I shoot the Kronos, and I basically charge the Archon, and then it's no boots on the ground. So, and that would have been turn 4, maybe 5, but yeah. Ultimately,
so it's quite obvious where the game was going.
Yeah, so I finish in the end in 11th place. Now, GW basically reward you a game point. So I finished on 26 game points. Mm-hmm. So I had 4 wins, which gave me 24, 2 points for a draw, 26. So then what obviously happens is you get a point for if you were voted best sport or best opponent, whatever, and also then best army. Okay, so I think I scored an extra 2 or 3, but I came 11th. Now on game points, I should have placed 3rd if it was just solely done on game points, but because of soft scores, you get 1 point per thing, so therefore a few other people pit me to the post. My army is okay painted, it's not great, and I probably could be nicer to people, but anyway, or maybe funnier, perhaps, I don't know.
The people who get voted for most sporting are the people you beat, and if you're going around smashing everyone with Deathwatch, you ain't going to get many of those votes, are you, Steve?
Maybe, yeah.
It's your own fault for being so ruthless. Well, everyone's got their view on soft scores, haven't they? And I mean,
do you know what? I see why GW do it. I do. Like the person I played in Game 4, they shouldn't be there. Do you know what I mean? They just really shouldn't. So actually, if there is those deterrents to go, look, if you're gonna play like.
If you're going to be an ass.
Yeah, exactly. So I get that. And also, they want nicely painted armies, which, again, you want that on stream. It looks better for the game. It's more encouraging for participants to come and get involved in the hobby.
I do understand that. And I do think you should reward it. But I just think the best way to for everyone is to just separate the scores. So you do like we do at our tournaments. You have a best general. You have someone who's come and they've played well. They've got the most points, and then you have someone. You have a best painted award for someone who has obviously spent a lot of time and a lot of skill in painting their army. And I honestly don't see the downside to separating them out because that way everyone wins and no one's kind of no one goes 4 wins and a draw like yourself and comes 11th.
Yeah,
which is just bizarre. So I honestly don't see the downside to splitting them, which is why we do it.
Because that's a top 5 result. 4 wins was like top 5.
Yeah. Easy.
So yeah, I mean, in ETC, I would have had 4 20-0 victories.
Yeah.
And then even if I had a 10-10 on a draw, then
90 points. 90 points. That's normally a podium. 90 points out of 100 is normally a podium finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the thing is, I knew what I was up against before I went into it, so I'm not gonna be like, do you know what I mean? I already knew that was gonna happen before I stepped foot in the door, even before I paid for my ticket.
It's true.
So I'm like, I go there for my reasons, and that's to be the best gamer I can be with the worst list I could put together. And then turns out it wasn't.
But Steve, Deathwatch are OP. What are you talking about, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. They needed to get nerfed in chapter approved, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Everyone knew Deathwatch was OP.
The guys on the stream that were commentating were like, I think we're probably going to see a resurgence in Deathwatch after this game.
Yeah. No, I think it's brilliant, mate, for you to take something that's different and show people just how good it is when played well. It's it's every 40k player's dream, isn't it? You are quite literally living the dream, mate. You've taken something that not really many other people have spotted, and you've showed people how to play the game. So I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Well done, Grandad.
Yes. If anyone's got any questions, happy to take any. I'm gonna as well post my full list as well. I've actually just started a website that we can link to whatever tomorrow.
Is it live now, Steve? Your website live now?
It is, but I don't want people going there because all the links are broke. So.
Oh, okay. Have you at least got that really cool picture? Because Steve's had a logo designed. Because what's your service called, Steve? Your blog.
So best place to get me where you can go is either on Instagram or on YouTube. Okay. And obviously, I'll put all the links in there when they're ready. So I've actually done a vlog. So it's not quite a battle report. It's basically a vlog of my experience, some other behind the scenes. I did a preview. I shot some footage before I went, and then like what I thought was going to happen. And I'm literally about to film what did happen after the event as well. So that's all going to be in the video, and that is going to be Vanguard Tactics on YouTube. Okay, so search for Vanguard Tactics on YouTube, and on Instagram it's the Vanguard Tactics.
Nice. And have you got, because Steve's had this logo designed of himself in power armor, and it looks ace. It looks badass. have you got a copy of it, Steve? Can you put it in the chat now? Go on, let's have a look at it. It looks great.
Yeah,
while you're searching for that, I'll do a plug as well. So guys, while you're on YouTube, being as you've already got the website up, you may as well head on over to Glasshammer Gaming's YouTube as well and hit subscribe on there, and then you'll get all of our videos, all of our tactics and back reps. They'll be uploaded there as well, so you'll be notified of those first. So
I don't have it on this computer.
Oh, come on, right? Let me find it. Because you sent it to me the other day, didn't you? And it was class. Which one are you going with, Steve? Are you going with the blue one or the green one?
The green one.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, I do. To be fair, I like them both, but on my blue one, he needs to add a S on the end of the tactics. So okay. He's got a little change to make with the logo designer yet, but I've gone for I've just gone for the green one for now. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I can't add a picture in to the chat. Why is that?
Just a quick one, guys. How long have we been live now?
An hour.
Yeah, it's been a while.
An hour. Yeah, we're going over, guys.
Okay, so I tell you what then. Let's.
Yes.
I think that's a great roundup, mate, and I'm glad that you did really
awesome, man.
well.
Well done, man. You smashed
Like I
it,
said,
bro.
mate, you're living the dream. I'm glad that Lawrence is living up to his name and he's being the nice guy on the top table, and that you guys could go on there, and I'm sure it was great for the people. I'm sure it was great. So, two guys, they're both undefeated. They're on the stream in the final game. Everything to play for, and you were both still absolute gentlemen, and you still had a laugh, and everyone can learn a lot from that, I think. And it just shows
Definitely.
that the hobby isn't full of those kind of people. We are grown men,
Yeah.
drinking beer and playing with toy soldiers. So
Yeah,
that's great.
that's it.
So to end on, because we did say we would talk about chapter tactics, and so we'll save that for maybe a Manny's Monday night mashup.
Nice.
Chapter approved.
We'll
Yeah.
save your chapter approved list for your Monday night mashup. So Steve, just quickly, what changes are you thinking about making to your list?
Oh, just
Oh,
quickly,
I can
guys,
put a storm shield on everyone.
Guys, I've got to get on the train now. The train's in like 90 seconds, so I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, man.
All right, man. Cool.
Yeah, man.
See you later,
Love
bud.
you all, man. Love you all.
Speak to you soon, mate.
Bye.
Bye. Let's just do that. There we go.
So my changes are just going to give everyone a storm shield. Storm shields for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's such a great little point. Strike that, isn't it?
I think roughly from what I've worked out from the leaks, I think I save 31 points a unit. So that's a 90-point saving. I can drop the Thunder Hammer because I don't need that on the captain. I might even be able to tweak the list to perhaps take 2 tank commanders. That'd be good.
yeah. So Pask did really well for you then, mate. I mean, Manny's put him on the tabletop a couple of times, and he's brilliant, like really good.
Yeah, so I'm tempted to drop Pask and go Vestroyan because Vestroyan get extra range and also 1 CP plus 1 to hit on a unit. So basically, I get a cheap man's Pask.
Yeah, and then you get 2 of them.
And I was finishing the game with 4 or 5 CPs to burn, so I only need that to be effective for 3 turns of the game anyway. So, and the other one's hitting on 3s, which is still really good. So, re-rolling 3s, maybe hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, or choosing how many shots I'm going to get, whatever.
Yeah, because
so,
they can order themselves now, can't they? That was FAQ,
That's it,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's good. Oh, I like it. I love it, mate. Well, mate, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom with everyone. And
thank you.
And
So
go on.
I'll send. I'm literally gonna. What's gonna happen is if you go and watch my first video, which comes live tomorrow morning, then people can basically head to my website, join my newsletter, and then I'm gonna email everyone my list as it stands. And then what I'll do is a follow-up email with the new list, but with chapter approved amendments. So
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great.
I've even got in there a little map on how I deployed, so you can see where I positioned units pre-game.
Okay, yeah, that's clever. I like it. That's great.
So
well,
if people are interested in that stuff,
well,
then,
guys, I hope you learnt a lot there. He's not called Grandad for no reason. He's very wise, and get old. Get yourselves a bum bag, guys. Let's start a trend going.
Yeah. Vests and bum bags.
Plasters and pills for everyone. Great.
Well, mate,
Okay.
thanks so much for having me on again.
Mate, you are very welcome. You can come on here anytime you want, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And guys, like I said, I hope you've learned a lot. I definitely did there. I mean, I knew Deathwatch were great because Steve's been telling me how he's been going for quite a while. But even then, they've just got so many tricks, and I think it's great that you've got all these little bits in the bag, even for the anti-tank, like you say. So,
Yeah.
but that was great. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. And we will see you same time next week. We're going to be doing this 6:30 every Friday, and hopefully we'll get guests on to run down with you or just talk to you about what we've learnt in the week. So,
Cool.
guys, We will see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.